Welcome to No Borders with Brian and Carrie. Today what we're discussing is why as full-time travelers do we need a vacation?
Yeah, we get the eye roll every time we mention, gosh, we need a vacation. Why do we need a vacation? Of all people, why would full-time travelers need a vacation? Well, we do.
Yeah, and I think that people see what we do. They see, oh, you're on the road. They envision it as a full-time vacation. And I completely understand that, because if we were to backtrack 3 years ago and somebody mentioned that to me, I would probably roll my eyes too and be like, are you kidding me? You're on a forever vacation.
Absolutely, I'd roll my eyes at you. I get people rolling their eyes at me all the time anyway. But this one, for no reason at all. This is a legit one though. This is a reason where you can roll your eyes at me and I won't take any offense. It is hard to explain though.
It is. It's, I think that for us, we've been traveling, like we mentioned, it's now over 3 years. And during that time, there's a lot of things that go on in our daily lives that could very much resemble what you want to get away from in your daily lives working 9 to 5 and just living at home.
Yeah, exactly. Just being at home, working your 9 to 5. How often do you get to take a vacation? We are starting to think along those same lines where we're going to take a vacation every so often. Now, we haven't really nailed down an exact time frame. We are going home every 3 months now. Some of those times we're home, we will be working, but other times we won't be.
Yeah, and so we do see those times when we're home kind of as a vacation, but we also look forward to those times because we do YouTube, because we bring you so much of the locations we're at. Sometimes there's that time that we want to be in a location where it's not going to be on YouTube. It's just us going there. We're not working. We're not taking out our laptops. We're not worried about any of that as well.
Right. We've recently got a couple comments, while you guys were in this location, you missed all these things. You didn't do anything. Well, yes, we did. We just didn't put it on camera.
Yeah, we don't actually put everything that we do when we are in a town. We bring to you, usually in the videos, the key things you want to do, but we're not recording every day. Thank goodness.
So why do we feel like we need a vacation just like you do? We're constantly going. We're constantly thinking, researching, trying to figure out the best way to make it to that next destination, trying to figure out what that next destination is going to be. So we're always in that thinking mode.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the benefits, when you are going and you have planned a vacation, say from your job. You arrive. For me, it was always like as soon as you got through security and you're about to board your flight, that's when vacation started. Because all your planning, everything is now done. You get to just go and relax. We never really get that. We're always kind of researching, we researching what are we going to do at the next place? What are we going to want to see? The activities to do. There's just a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, all the planning that goes along with what we're going to film, what our videos are going to be about. It's always something that we're thinking about.
Yeah, and then there's also the unpacking and packing. When you're on the move, not that you're not going to do that on vacation as well, but it is a thing. If you're moving every few days even, that constant unpacking and packing, all of it just can be exhausting.
Right, and if you've watched this video, if this is the first time you've started watching us, thank you, we appreciate it. If you've been with us for a while now, thank you, we appreciate that as well. But we slow it down. When we get moving too fast, we get exhausted. So we do slow it down. We do unpack, because when I unpack, I'll speak for myself, when I unpack, hang my clothes up, fold them out in a drawer, it just makes me feel better.
Definitely. The next reason that we absolutely need a vacation is planning fatigue. Now, we kind of mentioned this in the previous one. It's part of all the same. But with planning, it's like everything involved with the next step we're going to be taking, our next destination. And when you think over full-time travel, this never stops. This is a constant.
Yeah, we get a lot of how do you catch the bus? How do you catch the train? How do you do this, that, or the other? Well, those are things that we're constantly figuring out ourselves. Yes, we've done it a number of times. Yes, 9 times out of 10, we have an answer for you, but it always changes. It always seems like, especially those train stations, you got to figure them out every single time. And
Right.
it can be exhausting.
Well, and it's researching accommodations. Where are we going to be staying? What do we want to be near? Is there a grocery store nearby? It's like
Right.
there is so much that goes into us deciding on our next destination. I think that sometimes people think you might just like, oh, tomorrow we're leaving. Okay, let's go and hop on a bus and then figure it out. There is so much pre-planning that goes into each place that we go to. Remove YouTube from it completely, and there's still a ton of planning. And so you just need a break from that. And we get that, especially when we go home. You just kind of get that break for an extended period of time where we're not having to think a whole lot.
Yeah, I can think of a great example of things that we've done over and over again, but each time we still have to go, well, wait a minute, where's the bus at? It's supposed to be here now. We're supposed to be leaving now. But all these buses lined up in this bus station, none of them say San Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
where's our bus?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a language barrier. The lady was very kind. She just went like this, which we took as soon.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And we waited and we waited and we waited. Finally, our bus came, but it was still the wheels spinning.
Right.
It
Are
was
we on
still,
the right one? Are we in the right place?
Are we in the right place? Where are we? And unfortunately, we were. But still, it's that just, I wouldn't call it stressful, but it's that uneasy, unsure about what's going on.
Right. And I think that for this area, it also is just called decision fatigue. You know, you get in that, I know I get that way, and I'm sure you have. There's been times where somebody could be coming at you with a lot of questions during the day, maybe in your job or whatever, and in the evening, somebody may just ask you something as simple as, what would you like for dinner? I will sometimes, or Brian will sometimes kind of just go, I don't care. Like you, not in a rude way, but like you make the decision. I think that so much relates to with the planning that we do for our travels. You reach decision fatigue. You get tired of deciding where to next, what do we need to do, and all that goes into it.
And I'm sure you can relate. You have jobs, you go to work, you get questions asked all the time. You have to navigate your way through that 8-hour workday, sometimes probably more. You get home from work, you've got kids asking questions and husbands and wives, and it gets to be a lot. So when you go on that vacation, what do you want to do? You want to put your feet up and sit by the pool or lay on the beach or do whatever it is that you consider vacation.
Yeah, other than what you're going to have for dinner that night or what drink you're going to drink.
Just bring me some food.
That's the only decision that you want to make.
I don't care, just bring me food. That doesn't go very far around here. So just taking that mental break from travel logistics, take a deep breath, sit down and relax is something that we're going to start doing a little more often than we currently are.
Yeah, you know, when we get to a new location and we are there for a short period of time, even if it be a week or even 2 weeks, it's all that stuff you have to figure out. What if you're just in that one country for that week? You have to figure out their currency. There is going to be certain elements of the language you do need to learn, just even if it's please, thank you, or whatever you want to learn. There's a lot of that. Figure out, you know, what when you go into the grocery store, what is, you know, yogurt called compared to kefir, like you bought one time. You know, you figure out all of those elements, and it is very mentally draining.
Yeah, even figuring out things as easy as the currency, it's usually simple math. But just having to figure it out again and again and again, it's nice not to have to worry about that.
Well, it is, and you know, it's one of those things that as soon as we leave a location, thankfully, we kind of store that in our short-term memory bank because we just let it go. You know, it's hard. I can't even remember the last place we were at. You kind of can remember some things because we usually base it off how much a beer is going to cost.
Right.
So we kind of know that. But you know, you have to just let all of that go and then start relearning again. And it's a lot to kind of, especially as we get older. You know, I mean, my memory doesn't work like it used to work, that is for sure. So, you know, all of that can be very challenging. And I know when we get home, one of the things that I very much look forward to, and then I'm ready. When we're done, that's the beauty of it. And you know that you've taken that mental break. Is I'm ready to just walk into a grocery store and I'm ready to just go get those things that I know exactly what they are. I don't have to question. I don't have to get out Google Translate to see what the ingredients are on the back or see even what the label says. But then by after the time we've been home for 4 weeks, I then am ready for that challenge again. I get bored going into our grocery store. So then I know I'm excited again to move to the next step, which I think is kind of the whole point of this. You want to feel excited for the next step. And when you start to lose
I always
that,
feel excited. I feel excited almost every day.
Yeah.
Our next location, but I'm always excited to go home because I know it's going to be a break. We are also going to take a 5-day break here in Mexico as well.
Yeah.
And that's something we're just going to put the cameras away. We're going to put YouTube away. We'll still respond to questions, but that's about it.
Right.
And that's something that we very much look forward to. We also went on a cruise last year, a repositioning cruise, and that was something that there were pros and cons about cruising. We've kind of shared some of that with you. One of the biggest pros was not having to think.
Yeah.
We know what we're going to eat. We know everything. We know the transportation.
You didn't have to figure anything out.
No.
I mean, they drop you off at the port, and if you want to get off the ship, then you got off the ship. So I think cruises in general, that's the one thing about a cruise that can be, cruising is not for everybody, but for us, sometimes it can feel like that break.
Yeah.
Because you're really not
Very
having
much
to
so.
even think about anything. And even if I want to go do something, maybe Brian doesn't, no big deal. Like, you don't have to really think it through, like, is it a safe area to be by myself or whatever, you're just on the cruise ship.
Right, if
so.
Carrie wants to go to the gym and work out at 6 o'clock in the morning, she can do that. I can sleep in. It's no big deal.
The other benefit of a vacation is it gives us time to reset those travel goals. You know, sometimes when you're on the move all of the time and not taking that downtime to really think through your upcoming plan, be it for the next 3 months or for the next year. Sometimes when you're moving all the time, there's sights to be seen and everything, it's hard to kind of reset.
Yeah, no, I did say that we're always forward thinking, but we're more forward thinking in the moment. We're not forward thinking long term.
Yeah.
When we go home, I can lay there by myself and think, gosh, you know, what about this? What about that? What about the other? And those are the types of things that kind of get me rejuvenated, kind of excited about what else could we do? What else could we go see? Is there any place that we could go that's having a festival or something going on? So those are the types of things you can kind of take a step back and look way forward, long distance.
Yeah, I think when you remove, because we definitely do planning while we're on the road as well, so we don't just wait till obviously we're on vacation, but sometimes when you're in a new location or you're on the road, everything is still kind of cluttered in your mind a little bit. When you get to a place where you're not having to think about all those things we just talked about, the currency, the language, a new location you're in or whatever, you get a very clear mind to be working with. And sometimes it also just allows us that time to regroup, you know, and figure out what are our goals for this next year, for this next leg of our trip. It just allows you that clear thinking time to kind of put it all in perspective again.
Okay, our social connections, whether that be with friends back home or family, is something that is becoming more and more important to us. We were just asked recently, why are you guys planning on going home 3 times a year? That's got to be expensive. Well, it does increase some of our flight travel costs, yes. But on the other hand, you know, we want to. We want to go home and we want to see our friends and family more than just once a year.
Right. I think that, you know, being away made us probably more so appreciate the connections of family and friends at home and those relationships that we have. So we very much appreciate that. But then it doesn't just have to be when you're home. This can be on the road. You know, you can take that downtime, maybe have some friends, family that are going to come meet you at a location. Once again, this then removes that just repetitive daily life routine that you're in and creates something totally different. You're still on the road, but you are sightseeing with other people. You're going out to dinner with other people. It kind of just removes the mundane, I guess.
Making those connections. And you are all friends of ours that we haven't met yet. So when we're on the road, we are starting to do more of meet and greets and starting to meet more of you. We want to hear your stories. We want to have a couple beers with you. And that is also something that takes our minds away from our everyday routine and kind of enlightens us onto what else is out there, because we have learned a lot of things from just people that we've met recently.
Right. That has been great for us. And once again, that's a little break from the regular for us when we do have one of those meetups with people, because it's like, well, where have you been? Where are you going next? It intrigues us and it makes us want to look into other things that maybe we hadn't thought about. You can kind of pick somebody's brain on ideas that they've had.
No, we can learn a lot from you. People say, gosh, we've learned so much from you. Yeah, great. That's wonderful. That's what we're here for. But we also learn a lot from you. So we do enjoy those meetups.
The other great part of a vacation for us is kind of that sense of home. Even if we're returning home, we're not in our home. We don't have a home base anymore, but you do have that. Usually we stay in a house sit, sometimes we're staying at a family member's house, but usually we're in a house sit, which is usually a nice home, and kind of gives us that those creature comforts of being at home where, like, once again, we didn't have to think about a whole lot. Because that's one of those things that I know that I miss on the road. When you're moving all the time, you're staying in a hotel or in a short-term rental or whatever, they really don't have always that sense of home.
They don't have that sense of home, no. And one thing I'm getting some relief on here in Mexico is being in the same time zone. Texting with your friends, texting with your kids, watching your sports on TV at a normal time of day, which I've mentioned before, but it does give me that sense of being connected to what I'm used to back home.
And that's just another real kind of break from everything, right? Because when we go into, say, a short-term rental right away, it's like, oh, cool, there's one pillow each and they're really hard, or there's a comforter that barely fits the bed, or, and we just make do. That's just part of this full-time travel. I guarantee it. We had somebody ask us, like, are the beds always hard? Yeah, pretty much 90%, 95% of the time they're pretty hard. Here in Mexico, they've been fantastic.
We've had it great.
We've had it great. We shouldn't speak so soon. We're not done yet.
Right.
But it's all of those little things, opening up a drawer and getting knives out that are sharp, all those just comforts of home that give me a break, because then I'm ready to deal with, again, having the one pillow or not having a blanket to put over me when we're watching TV or an uncomfortable couch.
Just getting back on the road, the uncomfortable couch,
Yeah.
The sense of being home, wherever we're at, is important. Even if all of my Seattle sports teams suck this year, I still have a sense of home. I still have a sense of normalcy, because they usually always aren't the best teams. But I do enjoy it, and it does give me a relief from the everyday routine.
Well, it kind of resets, and like we said, once again, it makes us excited to go do these things again. It just gives you that break that I think is very much needed.
So all these points really help us avoid that burnout that we've talked about in the past. It's just something that if you do burn out while you're out traveling, it can be a real detriment.
It really can, and that is something that we have over the 3 years reached those points a couple times. I think more so me specifically, but we were kind of on similar pages with each other. Yeah. And we had to regroup. We had to step back. We had to reevaluate and see what was going to work, because the last thing you want to do is reach burnout. Because majority of people we talk to, and I know for us, we want to do this long term. And so if you reach burnout too soon, we've heard of too many people having to stop their full-time travels because of that burnout. Yeah. They were just done with it. So just make sure that you're always reevaluating. You're giving yourself that break time so that you don't get to that burnout.
Our favorite word is pivot. Just make sure you pivot.
Yeah. To the viewer who said that a long time ago, we stole that, and we use it all the time.
We still use it. Yeah.
The other key thing that we use this downtime and this vacation for is to do budget management. It's really a great time for us with very clear minds. Like I said, we're not on the road. We can really sit back and grasp everything and take a look at where we've been and what we've been doing, and just kind of figure out that budget, make sure we're staying on track.
Make sure we're staying on track. That's what this channel is. It's all about budget, budget, budget. How much does it cost? How much is it going to be? What did we spend? And we have to make sure we take a step back every once in a while and make sure we're staying within that parameter we set for ourselves 3 years ago.
Because once again, like the burnout, if you don't stick to your budget, you're going to be done. So this is a really key factor for us, but I do think taking those breaks allows us that time. Because I think if we were going all the time, I think of people that move every 3, 4, 5 days, or even a week, every week. It would be really hard to keep all that kind of tied together and keep on track of everything.
Right.
Even though I do put in everything and I feel like I'm on top of it, I would probably burn out just alone on trying to keep up with our budget if we were moving that often.
Yeah, it's just like, wait, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Let's think
Regroup.
about this.
Yeah.
Regroup and move forward.
Okay, well, we hope that you found this helpful, and hopefully next time we mention, hey, we need a vacation, you'll understand the reason why, and maybe you have felt the same way, and you can share your experience down in the comments, because I think it's good for people to know that are looking to travel that this is a marathon, not a sprint. You want to go long term, and how do you get there? And part of the way you get there is making sure to set aside that downtime for yourself. Maybe it's even just a longer stay in one location so you have a lot of really downtime to regroup. So
now we have some links below we want you to look at. Some of them are free, some of them are affiliates. That's okay. Check out the links below. We would appreciate it. We'd also appreciate a thumbs up. And if you want to, you can even subscribe.
So if you'd like to find us on other social networks, you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram at Brian and Carrie, and then on our website where some of those links Brian's mentioning, we kind of have some, they're really kind of travel tips and things that we use, that we've used through our travels that you might find helpful in your travels as well. And we will catch you next time.
Cheers.